When we look at video game consoles these days, we look at something called a value proposition. Now, what is a value proposition? It means what are we going to get for the money that we put out? What are we going to get in return? And I think more so than ever, a lot of people are seeing a lot of value proposition with the Xbox brand. It might not equate towards more console sales for Xbox. It might not equate towards more game sales for Xbox, but what it does is get people excited about the future, and it gives them an abundance of games to play through a new means. Microsoft is undoubtedly shaking up the industry. They're doing something with Game Pass that even scares me as a fan. And I've stated this numerous times before. I think that what Microsoft is doing could blow up in their face, and if it were to blow up in their face, what would they do? They would probably just leave the industry, because I don't see them going back to the old school way of really counting on console sales and things like that. So we do have that to kind of look into. When it comes down to something like this video is going to be an exact reason why somebody should get a PlayStation or should get an Xbox. I mean, by all means, get a PlayStation if that's what you want. I think PlayStation is a great console. I play mine quite a bit. I just think that you can't deny what Microsoft is doing, and I can't wait to get into it, because I feel like this is a video that not a lot of people are talking about this kind of stuff in this kind of way, but I'm going to do it. Hey there everyone, I'm the Crapgamer, and of course this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, and hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like, and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It really does mean a lot. And hopefully you guys all have a very, very safe new year, or had one, and to have a really great, prosperous year. That's what I wish for everybody. So yeah, keep that in mind as we go forward. Now, when it comes down to the value proposition, a lot of people are going to talk about what you get. And the funny thing is, I know I've been talking a little bit about how I've been gaming a little bit more online and things like that, and some of my old friends showed up out of the woodwork. And I have one friend who shows up, and he's more of a PC gamer now, and we were just kind of talking about what you can get. And I was mentioning, listen, I don't have to spend $2,000 on a PC to play games at 120 frames or 4K or with HDR or with any of these other features that I can on Xbox, right? Even stuff like ray tracing is available there, and it's really just kind of a godsend if you think about it. Never have I seen even the Series S, like you'll never find a comparative value to that for that price to be able to play the new games like that, and I just think that people aren't giving that enough credit. Obviously there's going to be other things involved, but when it comes to Game Pass, and listen, I'm not a huge Game Pass mark or anything like that. I think a Game Pass is a good deal, and I can definitely see the value in it, but I've always felt that way. It's just, for me, I'm a little bit more traditional in what I get. But Eurogamer, who also are the people behind the Digital Foundry series, well, they did their top 10 games, and I thought that it was a perfect example of why Microsoft is realistically kind of the de facto console when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So this is what they had to say. For those who like to leaf through turn of the century issues, for those who are drawn into more experimental, it's been a golden year. From the musical extravagance of The Artful Escape to the soothing strategy of Dorfromantic. The abundance of pure modest productions in both of our readers list is encouraging to see, and their prominence is down to a handful of factors. So of course this is a list of games, like I said, that are voted on, and this is how they kind of shaped out. Number 10 was Forza Horizon 5. It's quite possible that 5 games into Playground Games' open world racing series, we've started to take Forza Horizon for granted a little. So dependable is the action, so quick it is to get its hooks into you, and so smooth is the experience that maybe we don't take the time to appreciate what's just not an outrageously good racing game. It's one of the best, most accessible, and outright enjoyable examples of the genre ever. Number 9 was Hitman 3. Another series we might be guilty of taking for granted. IO Interactive's reboot trilogy closed out with what you could be justifiably tagged as an elaborate expansion pack. It'd be fair enough, but you'd also have to point out it's an expansion pack to one of the all-time great stealth action games. IO executed the fundamentals first time around with the efficiency of Agency 47 with piano wire. So that's all that was needed. After was more murder pens to play with. Hitman 3s are some of the best, and it also folds an incredibly VR experience hitting underline in this series. Number 8 was The Artful Escape. Now see, so far in the top 3, you have The Artful Escape and Forza Horizon 5, which are both Xbox Game Pass games. So the Artful Escape, sometimes it's enough for a game to be pure joy and color and enthusiasm, as is the case with the Artful Escape. Is it a great music game? Not really. Is it something much better? A great game about what music can do, and music can transform your world, your surroundings, and your sense of who you are and what you might do with your life. Wrap a theme like that up with a wonderful touch of humor and a sense of elegance, and it comes to picking battles, and you have something pretty much unforgettable. So yeah, that's, and I played that game and I think it's okay. Number 7, Wilder Myth. Wilder Myth does so much with what it seems at first is so little. Its artful illustrations, standard turn-based battles, and a fantasy world that's wonderfully familiar. But out of this, it creates incredible stories of heroism, cowardice, triumph, and disaster, and brilliant set pieces as you are heavy into a wolf or a boss gets blown up by magic wardrobe. So I don't know. I've never even heard of this game, but yeah. Number 6 was Dorfromantik, which again is a game that I've never even heard of, but it's a tile matching game apparently, and a lot of people liked it. Number 5 was Metroid Dread. They keep us waiting, but after years long wait, it made all more unbearable for its various stuttering starts. Samus properly returned. Metroid Dread's a conservative thing in some ways, a return to straight 2D action of old, but the execution is near spotless, so that's good. Number 4 is Death's Door. What do crows do when you're not watching them? They travel to a strange perched world and do combat with hideous beasts, apparently. Death's Door is the latest game from the creator of Titan Souls, and it's kind of an evolution of themes that you dream of. The former game's stately boss runs have become a proper fantasy land that Zelda would be proud of. So that's a game that wasn't in Game Pass, but it was an Xbox console exclusive for a while. Number 3 would be Returnal, which is really good for that game, I think. In a perfect world, all video game exclusives would be like this: focused, distinct, shot through with the personal preoccupations and obsessions of its creators. To say that Returnal is not for everyone, then is to pay it high compliment. This is a big budget roguelike, filtered through murky 1970s sci-fi and developer Housemarque's love of arcade attack designs and laser bursts. It's brutally hard at times and astonishingly oppressive, but you won't see a game crafted with more obvious love and enthusiasm all year. Nice work. Number 2, Halo Infinite. Somehow against all odds, 343 Industries landed this one. Expectations were high, as you'd expect when you've been waiting this long for an installment in a series so revered, and the shaky early showing suggested that Halo Infinite was an unsteady footing. What 343's Industries delivered, okay, a little shaky at times, was its best take on Halo yet, respecting the series' roots while returning to the freedom chaos that made it so beloved in the first place. And shown such a deep understanding of Halo's core appeal in reinstating it, 343 has proven with Infinite that the series has got a hell of a future. And number 1 is Unpacking. The framed diploma, if you've ever played Unpacking, you'll know it. Not so much the gun on the wall as the picture frame placed. Well, they won't spoil where it goes, although how one of the most powerful story movements of the year came by way of an inanimate object should tell you something on Unpacking's strange, brilliant power. The work of a small Australian outfit, Unpacking is an irresistible thing. It's a puzzle game at the surface about tidying things away, a premise that's compelling enough alone. There's something soothing about the fundamentals of neatly folding away a t-shirt and socks while proudly stacking boots on empty shelves. Now, the thing is, Unpacking, Halo Infinite, let's see, The Artful Escape, and Forza Horizon 5, 4 out of the 10 are Game Pass Day 1 games. And what's interesting is the other game, Death's Door, wasn't Xbox exclusive for a time. So, again, these are things that obviously are things that people kind of talk about and clearly are excited about, and the proposition is there. Like I've been saying, like, this doesn't mean that things are necessarily in a bad spot or anything if you're not a Xbox fan. I'm just saying that as far as things go, for a positive proposition or a proposition of value, Xbox is definitely like one of the better places to be, because you can play like some of the top games there, and people aren't giving that enough credit. So pretty much every top 10 game of the year lists at least some Xbox games or Game Pass games, and that's what I'm talking about, right? Like there's a wide variety involved in the mix as well, so people should really kind of understand where I'm coming from this. It's not a place of, you know, fanboyism or anything like that. It's just the truth. This is just how things are going for Microsoft right now. They've got a lot of good things going on for them, and this continues to bode well for what they're doing. With that being said, I'm going to link this article. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Rack them up, fact them up, Crap Gamer them up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.